good God. Yes, He is. I know God is a good God. Yes, He is. I know God is a good God. Yes, He is. I know God is a good God. Yes, He is. Oh, God is a good God. Yes, He is. Yeah, God is a good God. Yes, He is. Oh, He woke me up this morning. Yes, He is. And He started me on my way. Yes, He did. Yes, He is. That's why I say God is a good God. Yes, He is. Oh, God is a good God. Yes, He is. And I owe Him all the glory. Yes, He is. And I owe Him all the praise. Yes, I do. Yes, He is. Yes, He is. Yes, He is. Yes, He is. I'm so glad that I know. I'm so glad that I know. I can feel it on the inside. I can see it on the outside. And I realized there was nobody but Jesus that brought me all the way. That brought me all the way. He brought me over the mountain. He took me through the valley. He showed me the right way to go. I say God is a good God. Yes, He is. Yeah, oh yeah, yes He is. Yes, He is. I say God is a good God. Yes, He is. God is a good God. Yes, He is. Can you feel it moving? Can you feel it moving on the inside? Lay your hands on me, Jesus. Lay your hands on me, Jesus. Lay your hands on me, Jesus. Hands on me, Jesus. I don't mind. I don't mind. He might mind, but I don't mind. She might mind, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. They might mind, but I don't mind. He might mind, but I don't mind. She might mind, but I don't mind. I realize every time you touch, what's broken fix. Every time you touch me, what's broken right. Every time you touch me, what's broken fix. Every time you touch me, what's broken fix. Every time you touch me, what's sick and healed. Every time you touch me, what's broken fix. Every time you touch me, every time you touch me, every time you touch me, I don't know. Lay your hands on me, Jesus. Bring the pain over here and touch me, Jesus. Tell your neighbor, I don't mind. 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 If you touch my mind, I don't mind. If you touch my mind, take your mind and touch my mind. I don't mind. If you touch my mind. That's the best medicine. It's when he touch you. I don't know what they think, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm not going to be before you long. Joshua. I want to tell you something. Amen. That God would have you to know. Amen. You belong to God. Amen. It's important to know. Amen. You belong to God. It's important to remember. Amen. Who you are. Amen. And who you are. Amen. Even as the man of God. Amen. Elijah. Amen. Made claim that he, amen, and him alone, amen, was left to fight against the false prophets of Baal. And God made it clear to him, amen, that he had 7,000 more men, amen, prophets that had not bowed their knees, amen, to Baal. It's important to remember, amen, that you belong to God. And ultimately, amen, at the end of the story, you win. Is that all right? Amen. Shortly, real quick, amen. Joshua. Amen. 7th chapter, and I'm going to read the first verse. I want you all to be seated. I'm going to get out of your way. Many of the folk have to leave today and be over at North Carolina Central. It's going to be about 12:30. And about the children of Israel committed trespass in the cursed thing, amen, for Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zebediah, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the cursed thing. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. Joshua, amen, sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethany, on the east side of Bethel, and spoke unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed, amen, Ai. Amen, not a difficult thing at this point, because God has called the children of Israel to outwardly be prosperous against, amen, bless God, Jericho. Jericho has been defeated. Amen. The impossible has been done as far as bringing down the non-defeatable city. Amen. By the hand of this people that were not known to be, amen, bless God, a great warring nation up to this point. And so, amen, there were customs now that had already been stood up as winning approaches to winning battles. The children of Israel had adopted in the way they do war. Amen. And one of those things being that they would spy out the country or, amen, the nation that they intended to overthrow. That was just an Egyptian way of waging war. Amen. And so, amen, bless God, and looking over at Ai, as they had already done in Jericho, they began to surmise if we were able to, amen, overcome Jericho, then Ai would be but a small thing, because Ai, in terms of them being formidable, being, amen, bless God, a fortified city, amen, bless God, it's an easy feat to overthrow them. So, amen, bless God, Joshua did what they did, and they sent out spies, and they returned to Joshua, the spies, and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 200 or 300 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but a few. Amen. I like this, and I think there's something to be learned in this. Amen. I believe, amen, that brother, amen, Joshua learned a lesson about who you join up to spy with. Amen. Because I don't think it's by happenstance that the spies that Joshua sent out came back, amen, with reports that sound more like the type of thing Joshua would have reported, amen, in his day of spying. God has grown Joshua now to the point where Joshua don't have to spy out battles, amen, because he's been promoted in God. Amen. But Joshua now has the responsibility to appoint, amen, spies. Amen. It's amazing to me that Joshua appointed spies that he felt like was going to come back with good news. I believe that. Amen. That's God. When you in your heart and in your mind perceive yourself to be a winner, Amen. You don't seek out advice from folk that don't have the same type of mindset as you do. Amen. You're looking for folk that believe God for crazy things too. If you have an outlandish type of faith, amen, when you begin to share what it is you believe God is going to do for you ultimately, you find folk that think the way you think. And so, amen, the spies of Joshua. And then again, if you recognize that there's room for you, amen, to reach beyond the break, amen, with your faith or by your faith, my advice would be you find folk, amen, bless God, that have outlandish faith. Amen. Never link up with folk, amen, that have a less, amen, propensity or capacity to believe God than you do. Amen. Always hook up. Amen. Don't hook down. Amen. Hook up with somebody. Amen. Bless God, that's going to pull you up. Amen. And not pull you down. You don't even want to be pulled across. Amen. You want to be pulled up. Amen. You want to have an ear whereby you're listening for folk. Amen. That's believing for crazy things. You want to be around folk that's talking about going to college when there's nobody in their family go to college. Amen. You want to be around folk. Amen. Bless God, is talking about having something when nobody anywhere around them has anything. So, amen, bless God, is the case, I believe, with these spies. Amen, because Joshua picked folk that had testimonies like him and Caleb. And they came back, amen, and they gave him good word and said, we ought to go get them. And they returned to Joshua and said to him, let not all the people go. Let some of these folks stay home and put them on PLB. Amen, but let not only 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but a few. So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled, amen, before the men of Ai. Amen. Tell your neighbor, no matter the battle, amen, never leave any of your anointed at home. Amen. Bless God. No matter the battle, amen, never leave any of your anointing at home. Amen, because it's not about, amen, the size of the dog. Amen, it's about the size of the fight that's in the dog. Sometimes we look at certain things in certain places of our lives and we figure, amen, this is nothing like what I've been through. So I won't need to pray as much as I used to pray. I normally pray. And certainly I won't need to be dedicated to God as much as I have been in the past. Amen, simply because this is but a small thing. Amen. But we've got to make certain we don't underestimate the enemy. Amen. We recognize the progressive nature of the devil. Amen. He may present himself in a subtle way. Amen. But his intentions are to wipe you off the map. Amen. It just so happens that we grow in grace. And even though a thing does not seem like much at first, the Bible says that a little leaven is the whole lump. So I would say, amen, the first mistake they made is that they didn't bring all their praise with them. Amen. The first mistake they made is they didn't bring all their anointing with them. Amen. Because I don't care what the battle is that you go into the next time, it's going to take every ounce of the fight that's in you for you to escape. Amen. Satan might start in on you with just a small whisper. Amen. He may start in on you, amen, bless God, with something that you think, amen, is not even significant. But if you don't fight the devil like he's a giant every time you see him, if you're not careful, amen, that little Pee-wee Herman demon, and it would have his foot on your neck, and he will be extrapolating every ounce of what God has put in you before because you underestimated your enemy. Amen. Somebody tell Joshua, amen, that he should make every one of those folk go and fight, even if some fight while others praise, but nobody gets to stay home. Tell your neighbor, don't play with the devil. Amen. Because the devil's not playing with you. Amen. Don't play with the devil because the devil is not playing with you. And the men of Ai smote them about 36 men. I'm almost finished already. Amen. The children of Israel fell before Ai. Amen. Not only did they fall, saints, but they were devastated. The Bible says, amen, not only were they devastated, saints, but they were humiliated. Amen. What is humiliation, apostle? Humiliation is when, amen, you've been ordained to win. Amen. But you're not prepared to follow through with what God has ordained you to walk into. Amen. Not only did they die, but the one that lived got chased. Amen. Bless God. It's an awful thing to be anointed by God and running from the devil. Amen. Satan got in behind them, and they recognized that their defeat was inevitable. Amen. And so, amen, those that did not fall by the sword, amen, they ran from the sword. Amen. Humiliation that caused them to come into a place of confusion as it relates to their relationship with God and the idea of who they were supposed to be and the idea, amen, bless God, of what God would do on their behalf. Amen. They begin to be confused. Amen. As to, amen, how could this happen to us? And if we're not God's chosen, then who are we? Amen. Bless God. If we're not the anointed and the ordained of God, then what are we? Amen. We're just the people that's wandering in the wilderness, that's been taken to a place whereby we have not the ability to defend what God said was ours. Amen. Hunt your neighbor and say they ran from the devil. Amen. Bless God. And when the devil can't catch you with his hands, he sends a verbal assault at you. Amen. He might can't hit you with his hands, amen, but he can hit you with his mouth. Amen. Sometimes, amen, words, amen, hurt worse than a knife. Amen. Bless God. He's saying things to them while they're running. Amen. He's saying, you ain't nothing. You ain't going to never be nothing. He said, where's your God now? Amen. Bless God. He said, who you think you are now? We done whoop you and don't you come back. But you tell your enemy, tell your neighbor, amen, bless God, I've been anointed by God. Amen. Bless God. To try again. Amen. I believe this thing alone. And I've been anointed by God. Amen. It was supposed to destroy me. It was supposed to kill me. Amen. It was supposed to put me in a position whereby I would not offer the enemy any more opposition. It was supposed to put me in a place, amen, whereby I would never want to show my face again. It was supposed to put me in a perpetual position of embarrassment, whereby, amen, bless God, I couldn't hold my head up in company. Amen. But something has happened to me on the inside. Amen. I hear something on the inside telling me, say, what apostle? Go ahead, for I have been anointed to try again. Tell your neighbor, I ain't running, I'm just headed to my regrouping place. Oh my God, amen, I'm just about to regroup you. You did it wrong, amen, bless God. I'm not fleeing from you, but I'm running to God. And I'm about to regroup. Tell your neighbor, I'm regrouping. Ooh, I'm regrouping. Amen. I might not be loud as you are, but I'm regrouping. Amen. I might not be running like you're running, but I'm regrouping. For I have been anointed to try again. It takes God to fortify you to the point whereby you can suffer great loss and not quit. It takes God to put you in a holding pattern and have you been still so you can see his salvation in the midst of great confusion and dismay. And so it is with the children of Israel. Even though this chapter opens up with a proclamation, opens up, amen, bless God, with clarification. It opens up, amen, with justification as to what you're about to see and why you're going to see it. The word of God here in this chapter opens up in the first verse and says, amen, they did bad. They did wrong. Somebody didn't do right. Hey, he said, if you trace it all the way back from the tribes, down, amen, bless God, to the families, down to the man, you'll find out what happened. But there is a reason why they were defeated. There was a reason why God's, amen, ultimate plan for their lives was muted for the time being. Tell your neighbor, God's not done talking. You just can't hear him. For his voice has been muted by your deeds. He's yet talking. He's yet speaking because he's a gracious God. He's a merciful God. And he loves us enough to give us an explanation even though he don't owe us one. God is so awesome. He can do what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. And he doesn't have to answer to anybody. But he's so good. And he offers us the first verse of our 7 chapters. So we might understand that there is something that's separating you from our manifested grace. There is something that has brought about great division between what I generally do and what I'm doing now. There is sin. There is derision that has caused you to be found outside of what I would ordinarily do for you. according to my grace and my divine purpose that's on your life. And so even though you may lose today, and even though you may suffer loss today, he said, don't forget whose you are and who you are. And never the enemy gets finished laughing at you and poking his fun and having his good time. You're going to have your day again. Tell your neighbor, every child of God has his day. I might go down today, but if I keep holding on to God's unchanging hand, he has anointed me to try again. Anybody in here glad you didn't quit? Anybody in here glad you didn't give up? Don't you get happy when you think about how close you came to just quitting? Don't you get happy when you think about how close you came? You just throw it in the towel? Heard somebody say, but God. Well, I'm so glad when I let go of his hand, he refused to let go of mine. I'm so glad when I turned my back on him, he didn't turn his back on me. Tell your neighbor, we'll fight again. We'll live to fight again. So follow me close. Find us in the 8th chapter. I told you you are anointed to try again. And so the story goes. In this 8th chapter it says, and the Lord said unto Joshua, fear not, neither be thou dismayed. I want you to take all these folk you got with you. The people of war with you. Don't nobody get to stay home. Don't take God for granted. Don't take God for granted. And don't take the anointing that he's placed on your life for granted. Because it takes every bit of what you do to experience the level of success you've experienced. And if you're going to go beyond what you have declared is good, you're going to have to do more. Tell your neighbor before you slack up. You got to tighten up. Because it's going to take what you've already been doing and some more. How you going to back up and go forward? They ain't built a train that can do that. Elon Musk can't do that. You can't be in reverse and go forward. You got to press toward the mark of the prize of the high calling in Christ Jesus. You can't fall backwards and advance. God has called us to conquer and take no prisoners. He has called us to be a consuming fire. Tell your neighbor, ask him, are you going to go with me? It's the last time I won't ask you. But I don't miss 10 steps messing with you. You know I love you. I done lost 30 steps fooling around with you. But I love you enough to be 30 steps late. You making me late. So are you going to go or not? There's a fight going on. And God has reserved a spot for us to will our acts. God has reserved a spot for the anointing on our lives to make a difference for the upbuilding of the kingdom of God. I'm almost done. So God said, go get them all. Ain't nobody gonna sit down. Get everybody that's gonna benefit. That's the whole thing. Them folks said, I was in a mighty service. I was in a wonderful service. Oh, the fire of God just fell down. Oh, God moved in this service. The question is, what part did you play? Some folk had a hot service, somebody else shouted. But if you didn't shout in the hot service, it wasn't your hot service. It was somebody else's hot service. God said everybody that's going to benefit from what I'm about to do to AI, they got to come. Tell your neighbor, if you expect the blessing, you got to come. If you expect God to move for you, you got to come. If you expect the man to come, you can't sit back and watch somebody else fight. But you got to come. If you expect God, tell your neighbor, not this time. You got to come. We ain't going to have no clean uniform at the winner of this battle. Y'all see it on the Super Bowl. Some folk nasty. And some folk get off the bench, clean up, to go to the prom. Y'all ain't heard me. Tell your neighbor, you don't get some dirt on your clothes. If you don't get some blood on your soles. If you don't get some mud on your boots. It's fine and fine. God said, bring them all out. Bring them all out. Bring them all out. Come on, if they can't swing an axe, if they can't swing a sword, make them sing a song. If they can't sing a song, make them clap their hands. And if they can't clap their hands, make them stamp their feet. But everybody gonna do something. Look down your road and say, everybody do something. Look down your road and say, everybody. You want to get ready. So everybody do something. You sit on my bench, so do something. God woke you up this morning, so do something. He's trying to do on your way. So do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. That's what you said to God. He sent it back to you. Do something. You asked him, God, do something. And God sent it back to you. Do something. Young folk, you need to do something. Want God to bless you. Do something. I'm almost finished. I have given to you. I have given it to you. This second go round. Isn't it all right? I'm almost finished. I have given it to you this second go round. For I have anointed you to get up and go look your no in the face until your no become a yes. I have anointed you to go look your fear in the face until you realize that your fear was just a directional change to lead you to your yes. I have anointed you to take the enemy by the throat and tell the devil, you might have won the battle, but you will not win the war. Your fearful nature has not put me in a place of reverence of you. You don't own me, but I belong to God. And he has promised that there is no weapon that's formed against me that shall prosper. He has promised that he would hold no good thing from me. He has promised that he knows the thoughts that he thinks about me to give me and lead me to an expected end. And I glorify him. Tell that devil I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you. Because I know who I am. Y'all tired yet? Tell your neighbor I'm going back in. Some of us got killed. I'm going back in. Some of us ran from it. I'm going back in. But we were humiliated the last time in battle. I'm going back in. But this time, I'm going in with an anointing that has called me the winner. Even before I fight. Look at the left there, peekaboo. I'm back. And this time, I'm going to fight you to the finish. This time, if I got to praise until I can't praise no more, then that's what I'm calling. Y'all got something to be undone. Thou shalt do to AI. When the seconds go round, don't you never tell you got to get up. Because it's not over. Who gonna make it better? The folk that ran. See, your blessing was in not being killed. Amen. The only folk that cannot realize this redemption are the folk that fell in the first battle. If it wasn't ordained for you to win, you'd have died in the first place. God kept you because he knew there was going to be around too. They're not going to take new folk into battle. But those same folk that ran. The same person whose sin was hurt so bad that they couldn't hold their head up. The same person that got the name run upside down the road. The same person nothing. The same person that the devil beat down in the dirt. The same person that lost everything they had. Tell your neighbor, you going back in the back? Oh my God. Straighten up your back. Get that fear out your heart. And march yourself on in the battle. So your God shall go before you. And there's no enemy that can stand in your face. For God has anointed you to win this second time. He's anointed you. Forget what you thought you learned. Because God's about to rewrite the script. Sometimes you got to hit the reset button. That's how it is. Sometimes you just get off to a bad start. Y'all ever play the pickup game or anything? Yes, sir. And got way behind? What's the first thing you start asking? Can we start over? In other words, this score is not indicative of my game. Thinking that I can play better than this. I know I can do better than this. I can praise better than this. I can believe better than this. I can trust better than this. I just got a bad start. See, what I went through took me by surprise. And I got so far behind the clock that I can't recover. But if I can make it out of here this time, and God resets this thing, it'll be a whole nother story. Tell you that I got good news for you. God's about to hit the reset button. I got good news for you. God's about to finish what he started. I got good news for you. It ain't over until God said. Y'all ain't gonna praise him. Tap the same person 3 times and say it ain't over. 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 Why? Because God has. Time to say something. Sometimes you running from the devil, I'm not finished. You have to leave in a hurry. Yes, sir. You ain't got time to pack no bag. No, sir. You just got to grab what you can and go. Y'all didn't hear what I said. You ain't got time to go through all them drawers. You got to get out here. You're on your way out here to the door, you just start grabbing stuff. All I got left is this picture. Y'all ain't heard me. All I got left is this scarf I got on my head. Take a minute, but I'm going back to the scene of the crime. Only the same God that brought me from there to here. Gonna take me from here to where I'm going. I don't know about you, but I've been anointed. Who am I talking to in the house? I've been anointed. God, I thought I'd never say this. I've been anointed. How many of you all ever went through something? I'm done with it. I'm through with that. I'm through with it. I had enough. I ain't gonna never do it again. What you gonna do now when God says you've been anointed to try again? You've been anointed to try again. You've been anointed to go back. I'm gonna finish this and I'm over out of your way. I know y'all got to go. Bible says, amen, bless God, and thou shalt go and her king as thou did unto Jericho. And her king, only the spoil that was in the cattle thereof shall ye take for a prayer to yourself. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up against Ai. And Joshua chose out 30,000 mighty men of what? Some fighters here. Yeah. They don't stop chopping till it's on the ground. I'm gonna leave them out to preach there for 30 minutes. They went down so crazy for everybody don't have the same mentality. You can't get mad at them when they don't have the mentality, they just don't have it. Some folk got that mentality that I'm not going to stop chopping till you want to thrive. That's where Joshua was able to go find 30,000 of them. That's some mighty folk. It's hard to find one. Yeah. Joshua found 30,000 men and said, I'll die fighting. I'm not going to stop chopping till it's on the ground. I'm looking down. And he commanded them saying, behold, ye shall lie in wait. Stay over there. What God getting ready to do? He ready to do his thing. Yes. He's getting ready to do his ambush. I wish I had time. Did I tell you God fights in ambush? Yes. That's the whole point of being defeated. Because now your enemy is overconfident. And if you trust God, you will make yourself apparent to your enemy. You will set the stage for your enemy to chase. You want your enemy, amen, bless God, to have the wrong idea of who you are or who you belong to. You want your enemy to believe that they defeated you because of their strength and not because of a failure in your relationship with God. You weren't defeated because your enemy was so strong. You were defeated, amen, bless God, because you failed somewhere along the line as it relates to your relationship with God. Something about your flesh stood between you and God's purpose for you at that time. But God said, I'm not done with you yet. Thank you, Lord. So, amen, bless God, it takes a brave man that's been defeated to represent himself before his enemy again. So they came out so the enemy could see them. And the enemy, amen, bless God, underestimated. Amen, bless God. Amen, marginalized. Come on here, the people of God. So they came out behind him. And when he did, amen, God does what he do. He ambushed them. Caught them, amen, bless God, not realizing who he was. Caught them. Trying to establish themselves over one appearance. Tell your neighbor, I've got deeper roots than that with God. So they don't know him. Try to paint a composite of who he is out of one appearance. Tell your neighbor, you don't know him. I've been dealing with him all my life. Come on, that's why I'm confused, because this appearance does not line up what I know about him. What do you do, amen, bless God, when you know well enough to know that this is out of character? But your enemy think it is his character, because they don't know enough about him to know it's not. That's good. So they're running out because they think God won't support his people. They don't understand not supporting his people is not in his nature. And if he found not doing it, there's a reason why. And as soon as his people line up, he does what apostle comes to their rescue. You've been anointed softly to try again. Get up. Be ready to hear word from God. You're here for a reason. You were not needed, you wouldn't be here. Amen. Don't ever let the work that justifies you, even your existence, cause you to despise your existence. You're only here because God still has need of you. And if you want to be here and God got you here, you ought to give him glory. I think about my dear mother Jenkins. Precious dear heart. Been knowing her all these years. And she's still just as beautiful now as she was back then. My message to her is, you need it. Amen. Come on here, it's a great thing, amen, to be in the service of the Lord. Never despise being called God's anointed. Somebody needs you. That's why God has you here. Somebody needs your word of wisdom. Somebody is chastened by your very presence and your stance. I know it's not easy to be you all the time, but it comes with the territory. Stand up and be that weapon of God He's called you to be. By yourself, you're nothing. They said it all the time ago, gun ain't never killed nobody. Come on here, they don't give charges to the gun. Come on here, they don't lock the gun up, put it in prison. The gun becomes dangerous in the hands of the wielder. And such it is with the people of God. You are dangerous in God's hands. Yes, sir. When you yield to his will and yield to his way and know who you belong to and who you are. Recognize, amen, bless God, what apostle, that you are not a slave to the system. Greater is he that is in you than he is in the world. People on apostle, thank God for Job. Job saved his wife. Everybody not ordained to stand this pressure. Job was the one that was sick, but his wife was going through. Amen. The Bible said Job lost everything he had. She did too. She was not prepared to stand behind Job as Job stood before his God. So she found Job, amen, bless God. Come on here, somewhere on his way up to the climax of his sickness. He wasn't as sick as he was going to get. How far, amen, bless God, can those that walking with you go as you go through? He wasn't even as sick as he was going to get, but she's seen enough. She said, man, you still holding on? She said, you ought to cut your God and die. Job Job in his feeble state looked at her and said, woman, you sound like a foolish woman. He chastised her right there. He said, and you don't sound like my wife. Tell you that that's power. What she do? She went back in the house. She went back in the house because the anointing of God that was on Job's life had little to do with his physical state. Amen. He wanted the authority of the Holy Ghost in his spirit. He couldn't run no races, but he was anointed to chase the devil. Yes. She was sent to change his mind. But the anointing of God that was on her life, on his life, changed her. He heard her bad. He said, you don't sound like my wife. She said, I sure don't. I do sound crazy, don't I? What she do, Pastor? She went back and he said, all the appointed days of my life, I should wait. She went on back in the house. Job sat there popping blisters. Up until the time God showed up in the whirlwind. Who got pregnant with 7 more children? That foolish wife. God needs you. You are his voice of reason. Yes, sir. But one for you, amen, bless God, people will go off on the deep end. Don't you? God got you here for a reason. Yield not to temptation. Don't you fall into what folk are talking and doing. Don't you forget you that saving grace. What happened when you go to acting crazy like the folk you've been sent to stand over? Enemy don't care how long we got to wait. We got the judgment day. You don't. You can shout for 30 years and lose your reward. And Satan still get what he set out to get. And that's your soul. No, sir. Joshua said, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. I'm here to get on your nerves. Ain't that right, Brother Jimmy? I'm here to tell you how crazy you sound. I'm here to tell you that's foolishness. That's the only reason I'm still living. Because God knew it, amen. He promised me that my seed. He's giving me enough time to do what, Apostle? Set my house in order. Lean on your neighbor and tell him, you're going to hear from me. You don't hear from nobody else. You're going to hear from me. I'll make you a chastisement sandwich. I'm going to tell you I love you before I start. Tell your behind out the frame for the meat. And tell you I love you when I get done. And you can do what you want to do with the sandwich. For those that are ordained to be kept by God, will consider the word of God. Yes, sir. I got knocked down, but I've been anointed to try again. Have I got a witness? Come on. I've suffered. Come on here. Some losses. But I've been anointed to try again. Come on here. Everything I thought was going to be didn't happen. But I've been anointed. You'll never not done trying. I wish somebody got happy. I'm not done. I'm rather mad. I'm not done trying. I'm not done trying. It's like walking in the wind in Chicago sometimes. Everything is blowing that way. But I'm not done trying. My hat blow off. I can't turn around and go chase it down because I'm headed that way. I wish somebody would get up and walk in the wind with me. You know, maybe it's not easy, but I'm not done trying. It don't look like God's going to do what he said he was going to do, but I'm not done trying. I'm telling you today, this is the best I got. You ain't getting this word today, you're in the wrong church. If you can't get this word today, you're in the wrong church. You want to be someone looking for you a church. Well, you're going to get you a life changer. Well, you all not come here just for me. You all not come here because you said God ain't released you. Brother Bass, I heard your testimony on Wednesday night. I went telling folk about my brother. Somebody asked about you yesterday. I said, you know he got an A in math class? Both of us can testify. We didn't do the best we could in school. And that joker right there was smart. I used to look at him and say, what you so smart? And anyone say it's too late now, wouldn't he say that? But God said you are anointed. If you want to pass out, get out from there. Don't let them be the tail like a track. Whisper to your neighbor what you gonna try again. Tell somebody what you get ready to try over.